Hey guys, how you guys doing today? Been out grinding, man, since 8 this morning. Um, but other than that, I want to share with you something that was on my mind on my way home. I'll make it real quick. This message was brought to you by the book. It's called The Alchemist by Pauleo Coelho, and this book is about a young man by the name of Santiago. But other than that, man, Santiago, he has a purpose in life, and he's in pursuit of finding true happiness. And this guy, he finds himself at this king's palace, and he goes to this king. Now keep in mind that this king, he's very wise, and he has basically all the answers to life questions. And this boy, he asks this king, what is it that he needs to do to find true happiness? Now, the king was very busy at this time, and he told the boy to check out his palace. He wanted him to walk around his palace and to, take a look around and come back and tell him, what he thought about his palace. And he said, before you leave, I want you to take the spoon. And before he gives the spoon to the boy, he drops two drops of oil inside of the spoon. And he told the boy not to drop or not to spill the oil. So the little boy takes the spoon. He walks around the palace. He gets back to the king, and the king asked him, how do you like my palace? And then the boy said, quickly, he responded, I really wasn't paying attention. I was too focused on not dropping the oil. So the king then instructs him to go back into his palace, and this time he really wants him to pay attention to his surroundings. He wants him to look at the beauty on the walls. He wants him to acknowledge the art. And so the little boy said, okay. He takes the spoon and he goes back, around his palace. And as the boy is looking through the palace, he sees that, man, there's so much splendor on the walls and the ceilings, and he see how beautiful the palace really is. And he gets back to the king. He's excited to tell the king, what he saw. And the king asked him, so, what do you think about my palace? And the boy, he says that, man, it was wonderful. It was amazing to him. And then the king, he asks again, he said, well, what about the spoon? And at that moment, the little boy looked down at the spoon, and he see that he spilled the drops of oil. Now the king, he looks at the boy, and he says, this is a time to teach, and I want you to listen. He said, true happiness lies in looking at all the wonders of the world and not forgetting about the drops of oil in the spoon. True happiness lies in looking at the wonders of the world and not forgetting about the drops of oil inside of the spoon. Now I want you to really pay close attention right now. There's a parable in this story, and the king in this story is God, and his palace is the world. Now, the oil in the spoon is the boy's purpose. It's the purpose. That's the purpose in the parable. Now, he said that true happiness lies in looking at all of the wonders of the world and not forgetting about the drops of oil inside of the spoon. Now, our purpose is the driving force that gives us the happiness, because it gives us accomplishment. And when we are in balance with acknowledging the wonders of the world, the beauty of the world, and at the same time being focused on our purpose, we find harmony. We find a balance. And that's what the king was getting the young boy to understand, is that we have balance in recognizing the wonders of the world. Now, just to go a little bit deeper, in the book of Proverbs chapter 6, and I believe it's chapter 6, either 3 or verse 4. And it talks about how we as children of God should acknowledge God. In all our ways, we should acknowledge God, and he will direct our path. You see, we acknowledge God by prayer. We acknowledge God by living right. And we can acknowledge God, by just being thankful for his creation. We can acknowledge him through his creation. And at the same time, we can acknowledge God by living out our purpose, because God wants us to live out our purpose. And when we are not living out our purpose, we are unhappy because we have no sense of accomplishment. And I've been there, have a car, have a job, just bought our first home, have a wife, and still you feel like this burden. You feel unhappy going to church every Sunday, praying to God. What is it? Why do I feel this way? It's because that I wasn't living in my purpose. You see, a trial came in and, took me, left field, and I wasn't living out my purpose. And when you're not living out your purpose, you don't feel accomplished. So I'm telling you today to be in balance, acknowledge the wonders, acknowledge the beautiful gift that God has blessed us to have royalty over. Acknowledge it, but at the same time, be living in your purpose, and you will find balance. It's all love, y'all. I wanted to share this message with you guys. Have a good night. I wish you all a good evening, and man, go get it. It's all love. Follow me on YouTube at the numeric number 1 LOVEEMPW. That's one word. And you can also follow me on Instagram at the numeric number 1 LOVE_EMPW. Peace.